watch my Rolex. Everywhere I go flex, valet park on some low shit. Whole lot of smoke in that Rory, that thing potent. Burning rubber, wearing cameras, they was undercovers. Under pressure, made statements, turned on their brothers. Never judge you, but the streets will never love you. I wonder what it come to in your brain for you to run to. One's the haters, handcuff us and maces. Call us dumb niggas cause our culture is contagious. Third generation South Central gangbangers that live long enough to see it change. Think it's time we make arrangements. Finally wiggle out they mazes. Find me out in different places. When the smoke by the door, this the infiltration. Double back dressed in blue laces. He was teaching health. I fuck with Rick Ross cause he teaching wealth. Dropped out of school, I'ma teach myself. Made my first meal on my own, I don't need your help. All black, Tom Ford, it's a special evening. City council meeting, they got hustle speaking. $1 billion project about to crack the cement. So one of our investments has become strategic. Summer 18, man, such a season. About to make my partners look like fucking genius. We was in the Regal, it was me and Steven. We done took a dream and turned it to a scene. Anything I wanted, everything I needed. Gotta pace yourself, it's all about your baby. You can have it all, it's all about your race. I done took my name and carved it in the cement. Shootout at the beach, 20 deep. You tried to squeeze, your gun jammed, then they released. Blood on your teeth, how many stains? I see 3. The bitch started to panic, so I made her switch seats. Driving there, police chopper here, flying there. Really not too spooked, calmly ask me, am I dying now? All I know is keep you calm and collected. Cracking jokes like, nigga, now you gon' be finally respected. See your blood leaking, got my foot on this gas. Toss the 40, we pull up to Daniel Free and see crash. You know the alibi. They started shooting, we was standing by. Ain't see nothing but the flare from the talents fly. I wasn't there, I was passing by. Matter of fact, don't say shit, I'm just gonna drop you in the back and slide. That's your weed, all the cash is mine. I take them both to the spot, plus your phone till you back online. Cause I'm sucker proof. Don't play no games, boy, I'm buster proof. Pop at you lames, cause I'm sucker proof. Don't play no games, boy, I'm buster proof. Pop at you lames, cause I'm sucker proof. Don't play no games, boy, I'm buster proof. Pop at you lames, cause I'm sucker proof. Don't play no games, boy, I'm buster proof. Look, I don't give a fuck what you niggas done. I don't give a fuck where you niggas from. Throw you in your mouth, go and get a gun. Then you slumped on the scene, that's a hit and run. Oh y'all bloods now, oh y'all Crips now. Fuck it, I'm big draws, I'm Jake Prince now. I'm frontline wars, we can't fix now. Bought latex gloves, that's no Prince now. If you broke bread, you got chip now. Couple things you can't buy inside this town. Loyalty, love and respect. The niggas will extort you out your check. Pop at you lames, cause I'm sucker proof. Don't play no games, boy, I'm buster proof. Pop at you lames, cause I'm sucker proof. Don't play no games. give a fuck how you niggas feel. I can tell it fake, I can tell it real. Got a purple heart out the battlefield. Now watch me levitate to 100 mil. Fuck a pound, nigga, fuck a pill. I negotiate a better deal. Fuck around, nigga, yes I will. Take a life or I take a L. Time to even out the playing field. Cause niggas wasn't playing fair. I'm solo, still made it here. Rich, real nigga, ask your bitch how that make her feel. Bang.
Original bad man. Touch the road and tear couple thousand. The streets them are our own. You know no free chat on the streets, man, we send you home. Head get hotter than a toaster. You violate Russian and Kosa. Why this Nipsey also? Exercise me trigger finger muscle.
Gang bang, money violence, the shit so dangerous. You know the lifestyle dangerous. But yeah, those colors so dangerous. Love, money, the fame, and the power, this shit so dangerous. But with these bitches so dangerous. You know the streets so dangerous. Love.
Who's the bad man? Who can draw?
Pop at you lanes, cause I'm sucker proof. Don't play no games, boy, I'm busted proof. Pop at you lanes, cause I'm sucker proof. Don't play no games, boy, I'm busted proof. Pop at you lanes, cause I'm sucker proof. Don't play no games, boy, I'm busted proof. Pop at you lanes, cause I'm sucker proof. Don't play no games, boy, I'm busted proof.
Oh, baby, it's been so Oh, baby, it's been so
Mogul and they know that. Logo on my flow mat. Courtside Chamberlain throwback match my Rolex. Everywhere I go flex. Valet park on some low shit. Whole lot of smoke in that Rory, that thing potent. Burning rubber. Wearing cameras, they was undercovers. Under pressure, made statements turned on their brothers. Never judge you, but the streets will never love you. I wonder what it come to in your brain for you to run to. One's the haters, handcuff us and maces. Call us dumb niggas cause our culture is contagious. Third generation South Central gangbangers that live long enough to see it change. Think it's time we make arrangements. Finally wiggle out they mazes. Find me out in different places. And the spoke by the door, this the infiltration. Double back dressed in blue laces.
Oh, baby, it's been so Oh, baby, it's been so
They killed Dr. Sebi, he was teaching health. I fuck with Rick Ross cause he teaching wealth. Dropped out of school, I'ma teach myself. Made my first meal on my own, I don't need your help. All black, Tom Ford, it's a special evening. City council meeting, they got hustle speaking. $1 billion project about to crack the cement. So one of our investments has become strategic. Summer 18, man, such a season. About to make my partners look like fucking genius. We was in the Regal, it was me and Steven. We done took a dream and turned it to a zenith. Anything I wanted, everything I needed. Gotta pace yourself, it's all about your baby. You can have it all, it's all about your race. I done took my name and carved it in the cement.
Oh, baby, it's been so Oh, baby, it's been so
Yo, welcome to the show. Let's talk about it. This is your boy, the Black Kelly Samurai, on this miserable Monday. Gotta let it be known, I am a Bears fan. You know, we got this going across Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Filming for YouTube as we speak right now. And for the short time period, I'm on Facebook Live. Quick shout outs real quick. Working on something with myself and some other team. We're really like putting our eggs in and brainstorming some stuff in terms of doing like a meet and greet type deal. So that stuff is in the works, man. Just wanted to give y'all a quick update on that. I had a whole lot of people that to ask me that stuff through messages and in person and so on. So just wanted to give y'all a quick update on that. Shout out to DJ Surprise, man, that had everybody at the scoreboard bar and grill yesterday for the Bears and Saints game. He tried to keep the spirits up, man. If nobody knows who DJ Surprise is, he's probably one of the better DJs around here in Chicago that's always doing events and themes and so on. So whenever you get a chance, check out that brother's Facebook page and see what events he's got going on, and please come out and support him. Along with Shavonna Broker, man, she does events as well, and she's a bartender as well. So they try to get out there and do a lot of events and outings for several different people. Another thing, I wanted to give a shout out to a lot of people I seen yesterday at the scoreboard as well. Jefferson Caldwell, man, he's tuned in live right now on Facebook Live, man, as well as Max Julian. Max Julian was in the building last night. If you haven't got a chance to check out his Maxed Out Mondays ciphers on Facebook, please do so. I mean, the brother's doing some big things, man. We all putting in work. It is what it is. Hang on one second.
I flash back on that shootout at the beach, 20 deep. You tried to squeeze, your gun jammed, and they released. Blood on your teeth. How many stains? I see 3. The bitch started to panic, so I made her switch seats. Driving there, police chopper here flying there. Really not too spooked, calmly ask me, am I dying now? All I know is keep you calm and collected. Cracking jokes like, nigga, now you gon' be finally respected. See your blood leaking, got my foot on his gas. Toss the 40, we pull up to Daniel Free and see crash. You know the alibi, they start shooting, we was standing by. Ain't see nothing but the flare from the talents fly. I wasn't there, I was passing by. Matter of fact, don't say shit, I'm just gonna drop you in the back and slide. That's your weed, all the cash is mine. I take them both to the spot, plus your phone till you back online.
Oh, baby, it's been so long. Oh, baby, it's been so
Pop at you lames, cause I'm sucker proof. Don't play no games, boy, I'm buster proof. Pop at you lames, cause I'm sucker proof. Don't play no games, boy, I'm buster proof. Pop at you lames, cause I'm sucker proof. Don't play no games, boy, I'm buster proof. Pop at you lames, cause I'm sucker proof. Don't play no games, boy, I'm buster proof. Look, I don't give a fuck what you niggas done. I don't give a fuck where you niggas from. Before you run your mouth, go and get a gun. Then you slumped on the scene, that's a hit and run. Oh, y'all bloods now, oh, y'all crips now. Fuck it, I'm big draws, I'm Jake Prince now. A frontline wars we can't fix now. Bought latex gloves, that's no Prince now. If you broke bread,
Okay, my bad. Had to come back, you know. Had janky ass landlords fuck up the live recordings and shit. But hey, we back on. That's my bad. I was giving the shout outs. Max Julian, good seeing you yesterday, man. Hopefully we get you in the building with Ooch. We're gonna do strict. I would love to have them in the building, man, and strictly do a in the booth show with ciphers and everything. I want to shout out to everybody: DJ Surprise, Siobhan the Broker, Quentin Curtis, man, for the firefighters, Chicago Firefighter Brigade too. He does a lot of big things down there, man, with teaching youth down there. With building up that community, and he does a lot of community work as well. So I wanted to give those people a quick shout out, man, and shout out to some of the other places out there around the city. I tried to give a quick shout out as we went. Like I said, for those, I had to restart a lot of stuff here just momentarily. Had unexpected guest today, at the wrong time, but hey. Anyway, that's just piling on to what I got to say today. Today's podcast is titled Damn Bears. I had to sleep on it a little bit overnight, and anybody who see me yesterday after the game, I was pissed. I was heated, and it comes from a place where I physically and mentally know I can still play, and I played quarterback in college, and I know I can still play. And I'm 38 years old, going on 39, and I know for a fact I am twice the quarterback Mitchell Trubisky is for the Bears. And it's a lot of things in terms of state of the Bears, what should they do, and I'm going to actually, it spawned me to do this podcast today because I'm going to actually give you a brutally honest, and I'm a diehard Bears fan. Let me put that out there first and foremost. But I'm going to give you a brutally honest assessment of my fucking football team right now. And some people are going to like it, some people are not going to like it. Number one, it was told that, I'm a sore loser by some, and I am. I can be a sore loser. I can congratulate you on a victory, but I do take losing to heart. $100,000. That's just my inner competitive nature, where I'm not afraid to say it turns. It's a bit of a sickness because the competitive nature comes out of me. In anything that I do. So with that being said, I've been listening to a lot of post-game shows, football aficionados when it comes to these things. Matter of fact, I'm listening. I'm watching the Herd on one right now, and his football acumen is probably the size of this right here. Nick Wright is probably even smaller than that. I'm coming for heads today. Let's be brutally honest about a football team. It stings and it hurts me being a Bears fan because we had Super Bowl aspirations coming into this season. And when you have those Super Bowl aspirations coming into this season, you're going to naturally come across some things whereas you feel like this team is ready to take the next step. And when your team to take the next step, it opens up a lot of things. So I'm going to break this team down from the players on up. Okay. Anybody who watches, big ups to Corey C.O. Crocker, who's just now tuned in. He's a big advocate. He'll tell you he's a Jordan Howard fan all day, and he probably was more heartbroken than any of us when Jordan Howard got traded. What? I'm gonna go as much as I want to go from the. It's hard. It's like it's so much blame to go around. I don't know whether I want to start from the bottom up or from the top down. But in this case, you know what? I'm gonna start. I'm gonna shoot for the head. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna start from the top down. Bottom line, McCaskies need to go. Plain and simple. I no longer care about heritage. I no longer care about legacy. You're robbing, and I'm looking at YouTube and I'm looking at Facebook Live right now. You're robbing this city and the fans of this city that cares about their team. You're robbing them blind, and you're stripping away the fabric of what makes this city great, which is the fan base, because you don't give a shit. Okay, it's like either you don't give a shit, or you're worried about the perception of things. Now, I understand back in the day when football was founded, it was about defense, running the football. Today's game, and if you ever notice, you have teams that can adapt, they can adjust. They year in and year out, they know how to scout talent. They know how to come up with new ways to win. They know how to come up with be innovative when it comes to new offensive football, defensive strategies, scouting players with unique skill sets, etc. But these Bears teams I've come across, it's like they're going to stick to the fabric of football when the landscape of football and how you play has changed. Now, I can't really, I can tell you, I'm going to tell you my real feeling. My real feeling is like, you know what? Part of me is like, I can't wait to old lady McCaskey kick the bucket, because maybe the urge of selling the team to somebody who really gives a fuck and that wants to build a winner comes in. And I think at the top spot, that's where the root of it is. You have to learn how to delegate. You have to learn how to let people do their jobs. And what I have a problem with the McCaskies is you hire yes men, like a whole nother organization I'm going to talk about a little bit later on this podcast. You got a GM. And I feel like you don't let the GM fully do his job. You got a head coach. You don't let the coach fully do his job. You got all these other places in terms of scouting team, everything, and regional scouts. And it's like you'll let them do their jobs, but you put handcuffs on them because of who gets the notoriety, you know. And I'm here to tell you, when you get to the NFL, NBA, mainly, it's all about politics, and it's becoming more like a popularity contest of who could put on the best highlights that's going to get you drafted or get you the notoriety or get you the foot in the door you need to be successful. All right, so I trickle this down to Ryan Pace. I love what Ryan Pace has did in terms of scouting talent. I can respect the man who scouts talent, and you know, who puts a team together to accomplish a lot of these things. But let's be honest. Where he has talent, and and I feel like he's also went out and got his kind of coach. I feel like you kind of fall into the company line of being loyal to a fault, and any great team, you're not going to be as loyal to a fault. You're going to, at some point, have a phase where you definitely have to hold people accountable, and you have to go to the office and get in their shit just a little bit. You know, that's just the way of the world. And I'm always encouraging people, you know, that's the way it has to be, you know. Now, as we trickle down to Matt Nagy, I'm all for, like, if you hire a coach, you gotta let a coach run things his way. And it's cool and all, you know what I'm saying. But sometimes as a coach, you gotta be versatile in how you run things. You know, I'm gonna take Don Shooter for example. You know, he went from being a smash mouth coach, man, in the 70s and coaching an undefeated team in Miami. And then he had to move along, and he had to learn how to adapt and deal with egos and a very talented quarterback that goes by the name of Dan Marino. And he still had a playoff team. He had a playoff team. He had a contending team that was always relevant in Miami. Same can kind of be said about Jimmy Johnson. You know, he got handed the Cowboys, and he built a powerhouse and a dynasty, and then him and the owner eventually had disagreements, and he left. But he ended up taking a job in Miami and had them on the cusp for a while, and it got kind of dicey, you know. But he didn't have as many resources. And another thing, I think you've seen, he had the brains and the know-how to try to build a team, but he didn't have owners to really give a shit to give him what he needs to succeed. Another coach, Bill Parcells. You know, back in the day, Giants cared. They went out, they got the talent what he needed. When he coached the Patriots, went out, got who he needed, you know, and he shaped that team up. Crossed over to the Jets and coached the Jets. Coached that team up, got that team what they needed, and moved on. And then, you know, he went to the Cowboys, and every stop that Bill Parcells ever made, that was a playoff team. You know what I'm saying? They had that and they was a threat to go to the Super Bowl in those years. So the point of the matter is, you have to allow a coach to run things his way. All right. Now, I'm going to piggyback off of this. We have a Mitchell Trubisky problem. My opinion, and this is circling around in Chicago, and it very well may be circling around in other places like outside Chicago. You have people, and if you give me a second, I'm trying to look this up real quick because it's a lot to kind of like chime into in such a short amount of time. But you have people where, and this goes back to ownership, and like I said, I'm not discriminating. I'm heading from the top down. You had a chance to go and get Jimmy Garoppolo when he was on the trading block the year before the Patriots, the year before Trubisky came to the Bears, and you didn't pull that trigger. San Francisco ended up getting Jimmy Garoppolo, giving up a second-round draft pick. And I'm fine and cool with that part. Okay? You go on to the next year, you know, Mitchell Trubisky, Deshaun Watson, and Patrick Mahomes are available. And with that being said, you do not you're locked and loaded at Trubisky. And somebody said this, and it was like, what was the last black quarterback that the Bears actually drafted? And that is a very good question, because Mahomes and Watson are playing dynamite right now. And there is no question that the Bears fucked up. They fucked up royally. And when we talk about race, it comes off like when we talk about race, this comes off where it's being deliberately thrown in our face because of this critique. You know, I can understand why the Bears want to steer away from McCombs, for the simple fact when McCombs was coming out the draft, they was deeming him to be the next Jay Cutler. And at that time, Chicago was like, the Jay Cutler thing is a problem, you know. So you got that part. And the last thing we wanted to hear was Jay Cutler's name. So when you put Patrick Mahomes and Jay Cutler in the same sentence, and that's who you're comparing him to at the next level, yeah, ownership kind of steered away. So I understand that. Another part is, what makes it worse is you actually traded up to get Mitchell Trubisky. If it'd have been fine if you didn't make a trade at all, but you actually swapped places with San Francisco, who got Solomon Thomas, who I believe was going to get Solomon Thomas by any means at all costs at that point. They went and got Solomon Thomas, and they swindled the Bears out of a draft pick by trading up one spot. And I think that's where a lot of stuff broke down. So now, the year before, you could have actually went ahead and got Garoppolo and solved your quarterback problem and worried and put your resources somewhere else, because Garoppolo has played pretty good, Now, another question is, would he have had as much success had he would he have had as much success had he been with the Gibbs, but would he have had as much success under Nagy as he does under Kyle Shanahan, who Shanahan has a pretty good thing working for him, because Atlanta hasn't been the same since Shanahan left as offensive coordinator. And so with that being said, it's a whole bunch of stuff that just is going on as we speak. It just makes you wonder, So now you pull off the trade, you get Khalil Mack, the following year you get you a new head coach, and he's shown that a lot of people want to put at the coach that he doesn't run the ball enough, and I agree. And it's a lot of people here in Chicago who wants to run Nagy out of town. But here's the thing with it. If you have a competent quarterback that can read defenses and just has it up here and fundamentally sound, a lot of these plays would work more times than not, and they wouldn't look so bad. Like, I looked at Trubisky since he's been at Nagy, and it's like he has this sense where he plays scared and he's not fully confident, and he overthrows or underthrows receivers. Like, he's not always accurate, and all the stuff that you scouted from Mitch Trubisky coming into the draft is what we don't see. And this is a quarterback who started supposedly 13 games in only 1 year in college. And you chose him over a 2-year starter in McCombs at Texas Tech that aired the ball out and showed you arm strength, and yet the fact that he was a gunslinger and with athleticism. And a 2-time national champ with Clemson and Deshaun Watson, who is self-explanatory, where teammates and former coaches and everybody comes out and talks about this guy's leadership, how hard he works, his resilience when it comes to football. Now, but you choose Mitchell Trubisky, who had a paper-thin resume when it came to proving why he should have been drafted in the first round in the first place. So I'm going to piece this together. That whole draft screams of racism. You know what I'm saying? And if I was the Bears, man, and they lucky I'm not the coach, because I'm like, get the best player possible. I do quarterback breakdowns for those who don't know. I do quarterback breakdowns. I do player breakdowns in terms of what people say about certain players. It's just some of the things I do. And I just didn't see it from Mitch in terms of how his game would translate to the NFL. And he has the talent, but when you get to the next level, it's all about upstairs. It's all about working that clicker. Give you a heads up. Whoever wants to call in, the number is 773-309-8692. Feel free to call in at any time. There is you have to excuse me because I'm really trying to get everything shared here. So if you're on Facebook Live and I have part 2 here lined up, feel free to chime in. It's just one of those things where this team is bad, man, and we have to do something now. I have a solution. I have a stone cold solution, and I apply this not only to the Bears but to the Bulls as well. There's a lot of power in being a fan, and you have to look at. I'm gonna take the Donald Sterling situation for example. He made some racist comments, and the whole organization, Clipper organization, revolted against him, and he was forced to sell his team. Here in Chicago, whoever is a Chicago fan, I'm talking about Bulls and Bears mainly, let's stop buying tickets. Let's stop supporting the team. We can watch it on TV, but let's start going to the stadium and watching these teams. They're that bad. And the best way to hit owners who's all about money and who doesn't care about putting out a winning product on the football field, you have to hit them where it hurts. And the only way they're going to feel those gut punches is in their pockets. You know what I'm saying? And when you hit them and they start to see season ticket holders go down, and they start to see their money go down at concession stands and merchandise and so on, they'll get the picture. I went to a game last year. Me and CL went to a game last year, and we was watching the season over the Bears versus Seahawks, and they had just got Khalil Mack, who, by the way, no arguments here. A lot of people are upset about his play right now. He's getting double and triple teamed, and he's getting held. So, as far as I'm concerned, if 2 or more guys have to come and block you, you are worth every penny, and you are doing your job. Now, my biggest beef goes with everybody else on that defense, because at the very least on this defense, you got to win your one-on-ones. You know, if I'm Eddie Goldman and you're going to be disrespectful to put one guy on me, that's going to piss me off. That's my mindset, and ain't no changing behind that. Roquan Smith, ever since this little incident, he seems a little bit off. He might have to go and talk to Jerry Maguire or Billy Crystal from Analyze This to get his head back on straight and ready to play football or something like that. But you might want to entertain the thought of sitting that young man down, because I don't think he's all the way there yet. Like, I think something is distracting him, and I understand keeping things behind closed doors and keeping it quiet, but then all that's going to do is fuel the needs for the public to know even more and constantly bring it up and bring it up and bring it up. Like, you can't keep holding stuff in and covering stuff in from an organizational standpoint. All right. Now, offensive line definitely has to play better. They pissed me off. One of the things I told them I would have done was really see where Kyle Long is at health-wise and mentally, because he looked shot and he didn't play yesterday. They replaced him, put him on IR for the year, and that was probably one of the better moves I would have made myself. But another move I would have made, put Cody Whitehair back at center. You know, he was all pro last year at that position. Move James Daniels back to guard. Your offensive line needs correcting, and one of the things that I like about Whitehair is he knows how to make protection adjustments on the fly. And you need guys like that on your team, because you have to solidify this line. You know, no matter what level you play football on, it's always going to start in the trenches, you know, whether it's offense or defense. Right now, our Mitch, right now, and I'm moving on to quarterbacks, and it seemed like it doesn't matter between Mitch and it doesn't matter between Chase Daniels. From a head coach's perspective, you got to get somebody in here that's going to challenge Mitch and get him out of being comfortable. I was a big advocate of Colin Kaepernick. Okay, if you ain't got the balls to get Colin Kaepernick, let's start entertaining. Let's start fielding trades, man. Seriously, let's put offers out there. Cam Newton is sitting on the bench. I don't think he's going to make another. I don't think he's going to play for the Panthers ever again. This is going to be brute honesty. Cam is a mobile quarterback. I think Cam was a little bit more hurt, but he's trying to play in a system that doesn't fit his skill set. What's wrong with throwing out a 5th rounder, 4th rounder if you need to Carolina to try to get that young man to come over here and play in a scheme that obviously Nagy likes to run, and I'm pretty sure he'll be harder to bring. Cam will be harder to bring down than Trubisky is, and let's be honest, I think Cam at this stage right now, banged up and all, will be a better passer than Mitchell Trubisky. You know, and I can tell Mitch. I'm gonna call him Mitch. I'm not gonna call him Mitchell. I'm gonna be a little bit disrespectful today because he's been disrespecting us with his play so far. But he came in. Oh, nobody. I don't like to be called Mitch. Grow some nuts. People are gonna call you a whole lot of things. They're not calling you Mitch right now. They're calling you something that rhymes with Mitch right now. They're not calling you Mitch right now. You know, so you need to grow up fast. You know, you may not want to be called Mitchell. You want to be called Mitchell, but trust me right now. Everybody in Chicago is calling you something of a female doggish demeanor right now. What's next? Running backs. Once again, starts from the top. You got rid of Jordan Howard kind of prematurely. I would have kept him for an extra year, but that goes back to head coaching as well. You're not running the ball like you enough. Jordan Howard is a load to bring down. I would have still drafted James Montgomery. I wouldn't have wasted my money on the Mike Davis guy. I'd have got me an extra guy and had a 3-headed monster and gave Jordan Howard some breaks when it came to that. That he would have been legitimately my fourth quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Defense is already tired and worn down, man. Or we need ball control. Man, give it to the big fella, man. You know, let's start giving some knockout blows because over the course of a game, those collisions add up. Receivers. To this day, I still believe in Anthony Miller. I think that with better quarterback play, Anthony Miller looks a hell of a lot better. Allen Robinson is the only guy on offense that's balling for us legitimately. I like James. I like Montgomery. When he gets the ball, and if he gets the ball enough, he can make some things happen. I can see these things, but he does. They don't run the ball enough with Montgomery. But Allen Robinson, if we had better quarterback play, he's easily one of the top 5 receivers in the league. If we had better quarterback play. I'm going to move it over to the defense. But if you're going to say so far, offense, I'm going to agree with CL, F, plus, with a little bit of sugar on top because they are playing a little bit of sweet. They ain't no nasty, ain't no shit. You know, it ain't no dirt under the fingernails with their play. Let's switch over to the defense. Defense is a little banged up. You know, Hakeem Hicks, had an elbow pop out of place. But you pretty much have a healthy defense. Bilal Nichols played a little bit hurt. Teams are starting to kind of figure out this defense a little bit. But this is still a championship level defense. It was said this morning by Rex Ryan, who I trust in assessing defenses, but he was off today when he said that the defense was overrated. Let me tell you something. When your defense stay on the field for over 35 to 40 minutes, you're going to give up. You know what I'm saying? That's like you're taking a punch. That's like a boxer, and you take so many body blows, body blow, until it stings. You know what I'm saying? Later in the rounds, and so guess what? You start to drop your hands, and you set yourself up to get knocked out up top. You know what I'm saying? When your offense is doing 3 and outs and turning over the football, they're going to be on the field more. And putting on my quarterback hat for a second, if you give me more chances to try to crack a defense, I'm going to figure this defense out. I'm going to see weaknesses. And a defense is at their best when they don't have to think a whole lot. They can pin their ears back and they can go and they know exactly where they're going. That's why when teams get big leads, you see the defensive linemen, they fly off the ball all of a sudden because they got a big lead and they know that running the football is completely off the table at this point. So that's one part of it. The secondary, I will say this, teams are going deep, but they don't go deep as much because when the Bears front seven is able to stop the run, shut down the run, and make solid tackles where there's not a whole bunch of broken tackles, this is one of the most elite defenses, probably the best defense. They have 2 ball hawkers in the back, and a lot of people are wondering like where Eddie Jackson is, and I think Eddie Jackson is. I think he plays free safety sometimes, but I think he also comes down to play strong safety a lot, where he's not in the middle of the field playing center field and playing the ball on an air read level because of the fact that he has to compensate from somewhere else. And I think that's where the getting Ha-Ha Clinton Dix kind of hurts too. Like, you're going to have to mix those two up a little bit, you know. Which comes to special teams. The only good thing I say about special teams is I think we got probably the best kicker in the league right now. You know, Eddie Pinero had to actually earn his job, and that's the epitome. The way you went about coaching and getting up the kicking position is how you need to do every single position on the football field. If you can't win your one-on-ones and you can't beat the guy next to you, you don't need to be on the team, or you don't need to be starting, or you don't need to be on the field. Now, that's a whole lot. Nowhere in hell you should have had 2 block punts yesterday against the Saints. You know, you have to play way better than that. They did. So today, I'm going live. I'm like, yeah, we got to wear this jacket and take this L as Bear fans. It's 10 more games to go. Is the season over with? It's not technically, but I'm not seeing anything that's going to help change my mind. And like I said, this is going to be a defining moment. You know, now if Nagy can't make a hard decision like last year, you should start bringing in kickers, because we could have went to the Super Bowl last year, but you kept giving guys benefit of the doubt. Now we have a quarterback that we've seen enough tape on him, can't really give him the benefit of the doubt. So now, right now, for Coach Nagy to solidify his job as being one of the better young coaches, as a coach, you're going to have to make some brutally hard decisions and take emotion out of it and think about what's best for this football team. And right now, Mr. Trubisky just isn't it. He takes probably 98% of his snaps out of the shotgun. I think he's extremely fundamentally flawed. I rarely see him go up under center and use proper footwork. He gets frantic. He doesn't know how to read defenses. In your third year, you're supposed to have this and the TV, and you're supposed to click. You're supposed to be on your clicker. You're supposed to be on your clicker. You know what I'm saying? And whoever's trying to comment, I can see who's watching, but I can't see who comments. So you may have to call in 773-309-8692. For YouTube, you know, you can play this back. Please subscribe and comment. We're really trying to get everybody live so we can go live on YouTube and make you guys also just as interactive. Got to slide that part in there. But yeah, I'm putting it out there today, not to get sidetracked. This goes for both the Bulls and the Bears. I'm a rebel, and I'm boycott. If I don't see something better, I'm going to start boycotting teams until they put a better product. And this is something I'm going to start spearheading. Get us some owners who care, you know. Give us some owners who have a Jerry Jones outlook of things. Jerry Jones, the Cowboys stay relevant even in their worst years is because Jerry Jones cares about his fucking team. Robert Kraft cares about his fucking team. We need owners and we need management that cares about winning. And when you win, especially in this league, everything else will correct itself. You know, salary caps, people will sacrifice, etc. You know what? Let's look at the Lakers in basketball. You got guys in the front office. Yeah, they want to do things their way, but they actually care about what goes with that how that team is built and success. So, with that being said, hey, we're gonna have a podcast Thursday. Hopefully, we're gonna have the whole crew in. We're gonna give you guys a fire show as usual. I had to get a lot of this stuff off my chest, man. I'm even more pissed off at the Bulls, man. I don't even support the Bulls at all. I'm a Bulls fan, but I just don't support them right now. I got the get rid of Ryan Stuff signs already made up, and I got the Kill McCaskey signs made up too. So I'm gonna start wearing those shirts out, man. If I don't see better play from either one of my teams, you know. I linked the Bulls in here too because it's been over 30 years. Still no, we just now got an All-Star game between. It's been over 30, 40 years since the Chicago actually hosted an All-Star game, and that goes from owners looking at the bottom line and not caring about the team or willing to contribute towards the league in the third largest media market in the United States. But with that being said, and this is a short podcast I wanted to do. I didn't mean to go an hour, but this is a short podcast I wanted to do, man. I didn't expect to go this long. Please comment and subscribe across Facebook Live, up on the fan page. Let's Talk About It Shy. Let's Talk About It Shy as well on YouTube. We're also on iHeartRadio, and you can listen to us on the Spreaker app as well. With that being said, like I said, Thursday, we're going to have the full crew in here. We're going to have your man, Ooch. If you haven't got a chance, check out his new single, man, on Facebook, man. I'm So Chicago. You know, he's got a nice clip. Be sure to support Maxed Out Mondays with Max Julian. DJ Surprise and some of his events that he throws as well. With that being said, I'm going to catch you guys on the other side of the pillow Thursday, 6 p.m.